atau tidak gitu Kak. Tapi lebih ke memang tidak diizinkan gitu. Jadi kalau misalkan nanti ketika ditanya Kakak jawab kayak, "Iya Pak, kalau untuk saya pribadi memang saya tidak merasa kesulitan untuk membagi waktu dan saya bisa kuliah sambil bekerja, jadi saya bisa bisa tetap gitu loh untuk kuliah tapi sambil kerja." Sedangkan memang di pernyataannya itu bukan kita ditanya bisa atau enggak, tapi memang tidak diperbolehkan. Karena kalau misalkan jawabannya saya bisa, mmm, kuliah sambil bekerja, akan banyak dong nanti di luar sana atau orang-orang yang kuliah di luar negeri akan kuliah sambil part time. Karena mereka mungkin berpendapat juga kayak ya yang penting kan saya bisa. Pada dasarnya padahal di sini bukan bisa atau enggak, tapi memang tidak diizinkan. Gitu sih Kak. Kalau misalkan emang Kakak punya apa namanya planning seperti itu, ya mungkin dibalikin lagi ya ke diri Kakak atau apalagi mungkin tadi udah disebutin ada perjanjian yang udah ada gitu sama pihak sebelum yang tadi Kakak bilang lah pihak apa pesantren. Tapi mungkin nggak usah disampaikan sih Kak ketika wawancara gitu. Karena kan memang pada dasarnya tidak diperbolehkan. Gitu sih Kak.
Baik, Kak. Terima kasih Kak Nabila.
Iya, sama-sama Kak.
Oke, oke. Terima kasih Kak Nabila atas tambahannya. Baik, Isna ini good luck ya buat hasil TBS-nya sebelum masuk ke sesi wawancara dan good luck juga buat kita semua. Ada 51 orang pada malam hari ini. Oke, kita lanjut ke kandidat selanjutnya ya. Di sini ada Kak Nabila. Halo Kak Nabila. Ada siapa nih?
Halo Kak. Oh iya Kak Ibranya tadi harusnya ada Kak, tapi Kak Ibranya lagi ada acara di Monas jadi dia belum bisa join, tapi udah ada Kak Ari juga di sini sama tadi ada Kak Dea. Ada Kak Deanya nggak? Kak Dea atau siapa ya? Sorry. Wait. Um,
Kalau
bentar,
nggak salah Kak Dewi mau ditanya-tanya ya Kak? Kak Dewi.
Iya
Kak
mau
Dewi jadi ininya.
Iya,
Bentar
tapi
aku
aku
lihat
juga
ada
belum
namanya.
begitu siap banget sih Kak. Soalnya emang
Uh,
aku tipenya kalau misalkan belum ada kejelasan gitu mau ini bener-bener tuh belum 100% gitu loh. Cuman insya Allah ya aku coba
ya,
jawab soal ini.
oke.
I try my best.
Kakak ada yang namanya Kak Nuridea nggak Kak? Kak Nuridea. BTW guys, aku mohon maaf banget belum bisa on cam karena aku di on cam di apa join di device yang nggak bisa on cam. Sorry ya. Kak Anuridea kalau nggak salah ya namanya. Nggak ada ya? Yaudah deh kalau nggak ada nggak apa-apa. Aku coba bantu backup juga. Oke, tadi yang mau record namanya Kak Ulfa udah aman Kak? Bisa di record? Karena kemarin ada yang request. Bentar ya, aku konfirmasi dulu supaya bener-beneran bisa di record.
Oh aman katanya.
Udah. Oke, yaudah. Karena silahkan dibuka untuk Kak Dewi.
Bill siapa aja yang jadi
Kak, iya.
English?
Okay, please. She's going to Harvard, so I think it's gonna be a full
Oh my goodness.
English interview.
Aduh ini. Oke.
Yang diwawancara mana ya?
Kak Dewi. Nih
Diwawancara Kak Dewi.
Mohon maaf belum
Kak
bisa
Dewi.
karena ada sesuatu yang dikerjakan juga saat ini.
Oh,
Mohon maaf.
nggak on cam ya.
Oke.
Baiknya
Kak
on
Ari
cam.
sudah dapat ininya esai dan apa research proposalnya? Ada Kak?
Sudah.
BTW Kak Dewi, kalau dari Kak Dewi bisa diusahain on cam? Apa emang bener-bener nggak bisa banget?
Lagi nggak bisa
Ya,
banget Kak.
sekarang
Soalnya
kami-
lagi di luar di apa namanya lagi ngerjain ini sama anak-anak yang lain ya Kak. Besok mau apa namanya soalnya mau final lomba untuk anak-anak ini sih Kak, anak-anak didikku besok mau lomba di Jawa Timur gitu
Oke.
ya Kak, ya.
Ya udah, silakan
I'm
Kak.
really sorry for that.
Bentar. Esainya yang mana ya? Bentar ya.
Atau Kak Ari mau buka wawancaranya? Boleh.
Mungkin Kak Roy dulu aja kali ya.
Oke, udah oke.
Bentar. Ini saya lagi cari ini dulu. Mana?
Atau aku kirim lagi Kak?
Ada sih, udah ada. Bentar.
Gue jadi nervous.
Oke, ini ya. Terus statement riset proposal, oke. Oh, sudah ini ya. Oke. Oke, well, good evening,
Good
Dewi.
evening.
Oke. Okay, welcome to this section. So I want to say congratulations for you. So before that, may I know your name and several information for you?
Okay, thank you so much for the questions. My full name is Dewi Furusin Marfua. Usually people call me Dewi. I'm a teacher. I've been teaching for 7 years. Now I'm teaching in one of elementary school in Blitar, East Java. It is Tambakan One Elementary School. I'm really excited in education and social movement where I can collaborate with, such as FLP, PEV, KKGPI, and the other. FLP is one of this contribute in literacy and sharing it through social media, like writing and reading poetry, short story, novel, and etc. And then the second one is PEV. It's a community for villager that I initiate since 2020. It's kind of big responsibility for me as an academic person, but because not all the villagers here have a chance to go to college with English, I think they'll be able to communicate with people around the world so that it's open more opportunities to get a better job or to get a better education. And the last but it's actually not least, it is my activity right now. It is KKGPI. It's an Islamic teachers community here, and I chosen to be the leader of IT divisions, where my team and I were made about 1,000 videos, and we have about 30 subscribers, and we're still surviving on it. And I'm really happy and and so excited in this field because I can give motivation to the teachers here in about 22 districts here to make media for learning in especially in Islamic subject. That's it. Thank you.
Oh, okay. Okay, are you work in the government, right?
Yes, I work as an educator and I work for Blitar Regency
Okay.
department.
So,
Yes.
okay, beside you work in the government, you have beside activity like a content creator.
Yes,
Oh,
definitely.
okay. Okay. So
I
maybe
enjoy.
can you tell me about your reason and yeah, like beneficial for society in your environment?
About making a content or making videos like that. The
Yes.
question. Okay. Yeah, I'm really passionate in this platform or media because I think we can like spread messages to the world through social media because it can influence people, even it is not Indonesian people. So we can collaborate and we can even communicate with people around the world. So we have like new perspective and then new relations with other people, especially we can we can have like open-mindedness like that.
Okay. Nice. So uh, it's the still same with your feature course. I think I already saw your personal statement. You want to go to Harvard University, right?
Yes.
Okay, what's your future course over there?
um I I take MRPL. It is Master Religion and Public Life. It is related with my current job right now because I think studying a religion in America sometimes I got like issues from the other, I mean like from friends or sometimes from the government that you are one of flying religion, but why you don't go to the Middle East, but why in America? The question is just like that. But for me, I strongly believe obtaining in this area in America, it will not only enhance my academic and professional significant impact because both Indonesia or America, it is a diverse country, and for me, diversity can be a source of strength and cultural wealth. Especially as a teacher, it will play like important role by promoting respect, empathy, and understanding that can help students feel safe and promoting religious moderations like that.
Okay. So have you ever heard about the person who have same interest with you in especially in um, Ministry of Religion Affair or just you?
Um, Yeah, actually, I have a person that I really like this person because he's actually my role model because he is one of like my favorite person because he has been gotten like so many achievement, especially in languages. So he is actually a chief of PICE, yeah, or we can say kepala bidang PAIS gitu ya. I forgot how to say it in English, but it's kepala bidang PAIS in Ministry of Religion here in Blitar Regency, and I really appreciate him because he actually can master both in Arabic and also in English, and he has many communities that he's still trying to make a charity, and then he really active in social media as well, and he can communicate with people around the world. Like he had like a volunteer from America, from Australia, and from the other country, and they can collaborate to make like a social movement here, especially in promoting religious moderations here. So in Blitar, there is a movement that we still on progress. It is starting about this year about on April maybe, and I am one of the influencer there with that person. So he
Okay.
really motivate
Okay.
me to do this. Thank you. Yeah.
Okay. Nice. So you usually collaborate with other. I mean, do you have a group or circle to did your kindness activity?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Sorry, and your site. I mean your place right now.
Okay. Yes, actually, of course, in this field, I have to collaborate with many people, such as videographer and then editor, and then someone that I really like. I mean, like to like being like motivate me to do this or that, and then someone in digital platform like especially in writing like Blogspot and then Kompasiana and then the other platform, so I can collaborate and then I can improving my literacy, and then to improve how to make like a great videos that can motivate other person or educate people here, so that they feel like even we are villager, we have the same right, we have the same like dreams, and we can achieve it like that.
Okay. Okay, I get a point. So can you tell me about your um, bachelor degree experience in
Okay.
what kind of activity that you usually
um
doing all the
yeah, yeah.
time?
Okay, I'm sorry I haven't mentioned it yet. Okay, because I graduated in 2017. It's been too long because I work already, and actually I get 2 degrees in my bachelor's, one in Islamic University of Yogyakarta, Sunan Kalijaga, Yogyakarta, and the other one in University of Yogyakarta, and I took like different major, and I think it can improve my my public speaking skills, and then it can improving my Arabic and my languages as well. And my activities when I was students in the university, I joined like many organizations such as ACICIS. ACICIS is one of um, community that collaborate with Australian's government at that time, and I also worked as a educator and curriculum staff in one of international school in Yogyakarta as well. And I got many experiences from that because I met many people from around the world, and because of my English, even at that time my English is not that well. So with English, for me, I can find the new perspective. I can find new relationship that it can make me grow, especially in academic and professional, in professional, academic and professional work. This is true.
Okay, do you have an LOA already?
I haven't gotten an LO yet because it's actually open in about April, so I have to join. I mean, I have to apply next year. Maybe I can start it next year. Yeah, because it's only open on April in Harvard University, especially in HDS.
Okay, you use your English ability certificate. What um what certificate? IELTS or TOEFL IBT?
For applying in that major, in my
I
major,
mean, this
uh,
scholarship. This
in
scholarship.
this scholarship, I used TOEFL ITP, but for in the Harvard, I have to use IELTS, and it must be 7.5. It's quite hard, but yeah, I have to try to my best to do that.
Oh, so after you get this scholarship, you want to learn more about IELTS, right?
Of course, yes, I will.
Okay, okay. Yes, according to your performance before, I believe you can achieve your target, especially in IELTS score. Okay,
Thank
I think enough for me in the academic side. So maybe we'll move to another friends. Hello, Mr. Ari.
Hello,
Okay,
Mr.
please.
Roy.
Yeah, this is your turn.
Uh, all right, Miss or Mrs. Devi?
Miss,
Miss.
please.
All right, Miss Devi. I'm sorry because it should be I'm the academic side, but it's okay. Maybe I will ask something about academic and then about the psychology, right? All right. Um, what major did you take in your master degree?
Master degree. I take MRPL. It's the Master Religion and Public Life.
Master religion, public. Is it relate with your previous study?
Um, it's not really related with my previous educational background, but it's actually related with my current job because it is leading to an education field, and
Oh,
it's connected with religious, and I think it's linear.
so you wanna say that your job need the master degree, right?
Yes, I guess.
Okay. All right. You mentioned that you didn't get, you haven't got your LOA.
Yep.
What university do you wanna take? Is it only
Uh,
Harvard?
okay. I have three university that I really wanted to there, but first is Harvard, and then the second one is Columbia, and then the last one is Michigan University.
Michigan University. All right.
Yeah. And all the majority
Uh,
is in America.
okay. With the same major?
Yes.
All
It's
right.
not really same, but yeah, it's still in the same activity and in the same academic purposes.
Okay. You say that Harvard and Columbia, Michigan. I think that's Ivy League, right? Can you convince me? Will you get to the university?
Um, convince you like sorry, I didn't
Uh,
get you, sir.
okay. Convince me means that can you make me sure you will
Why
get to
me?
the university? No, I mean,
Uh,
can you make me sure you will get the university? Because I heard that
okay, okay,
the
okay.
IELTS 7.5, it's quite high, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Can you
Yeah,
make me sure?
definitely. Yeah. Sir, I'm a hardworking person. So, by knowing the requirements before, so I have to like fulfill and then to give a good progress, especially in IELTS, and I will surely make a schedule how to get the point, and then I will try my best to get the score, especially in 7.5 or higher. Yeah, I guess by scheduling my activities, and then I think I can do that. Yeah, because
Have
I'm
you
a
ever
hard
take
worker.
IELTS before?
Yes, and my point
Oh,
still 6.5 overall.
6.5. Oh,
Yeah.
overall. All right. It's I think that's good enough. Yeah. I think you can improve your IELTS score. How much your tuition fee in Harvard?
In Harvard. I'm really sorry, sir, because I haven't searched yet about the tuition fee. That's my fault.
All
Sorry.
right.
I will. Yeah, I definitely search for it after this.
Okay. It's okay. Please tell me the relevance between your major and your job
Mm, what?
relevance. Yeah,
Relevancy gitu ya.
yeah.
Okay. Mm, right. Let me think.
All right. So,
Mm,
yeah, you mentioned that it's linear with your
yeah, yeah.
job. Yeah, yeah. Please tell me.
Okay. I'm working on MRPL program. Actually, my skill set is defined by critical analysis, research acumen, effective communication, and interdisciplinary thinking, adaptability, and flexibility. Um, as my as my job right now, I'm a teacher, and somehow, because of the pandemic situation, we have to make like innovations such as make media for learning session, and then how to like motivate children to still focus even we are not in the same class or in the same place when we are learning. So it's actually made me more like to be a creative one. And then actually this program, this degree program in MRPL, it carries unique and advantages that is set apart from the other universities. And for me, I have engaged in and launched YouTube channel in 2000. I started in 2019 through podcast show, educational videos, competitions, and Islamic activities in school, where I initiate in collaboration with religious ministry of Blitar Agency in campaign about religious moderation. I think Harvard, especially in religion and public life, it is suitable, and I can enhance my skills, and I can also meet an expert, and then make a good relationship with other friends. It's not only Muslim, but we can also spread the messages of peaceful with people around the world. like that.
Okay, all right. So we come to the psychology interview. Did you know? Yeah, maybe many people know that Islam does not have good relationship with the USA. What do you think about that? Yeah, you can mention like 9/11, Al Qaeda, and the etc. Nah, can you
Yep.
what is
Yeah,
your
yeah.
opinion?
Yeah, it's actually sorry, sorry, my coughing. Yeah, it's actually my research title. It's about study of Muslim society in the United States, religious moderations among minorities, and its impact to education. Because like being minority as a Muslim in America, it's not. I mean, like it's very hard there, and I think what about the other religion in Indonesia? Because like Muslim are the biggest religion here, and then how's the feeling if I am becoming a minority in America? That's actually the reason behind why I took this title. And about America and the discrimination that maybe Muslim are often stereotyped as terrorists, and this has led to negative attitudes toward them. Um, yeah, America and Indonesia actually still facing kind of stereotype like this, but I strongly believe that it is well wait, mm, uh, I with my research I will investigate the problem and the experience of and the perspective of Muslim society among minorities in there in America, so then I can collaborate with people there, and then uh wait
All right, that's enough. I
yeah.
got your point.
I'm sorry.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Maybe I got several questions left. Um, can you tell me what is your strength and weakness?
Okay. It is actually the same question I asked before to the previous. Okay. Um, my strength is I am adaptability, and I am hardworking and dedicated person. Why I say that? Because like during my childhood, I have a high curiosity about learning and teaching Islam, especially in Islam. Because when I was in junior high, I started I started taught Quran to the children while santri in TPA, Taman Pendidikan Al-Quran. And then after that, after my working hours finished, I used to teach Santri as well, and group of villagers women who willing to learn Quran and Islamic values. It's more about how to read Quran, about the tajweed and the makharij al-huruf, and then so they will have both practical and theoretical knowledge to have. As a woman, we are Madrasatul Ula, we are as the first education place to our children, to our next generation. So I have to teach a woman here. It is actually my big responsibility as an academic person, because like I mentioned before, that not all the villagers have the chance to go to college or to get a better like education. So that's why I manage kind of activities like that, and I'm a dedicated person, because I also manage an English community here for young generations named Blitar English Village, or PV. So they can communicate with people around the world through writing or spoken. Finally, I do hope we can send the messages about peaceful Islam in the world.
Weakness?
Um, my weakness. I sometimes a bit lazy about something I don't really like. I don't really like something that maybe make me lazy. For example, I am let's say apa sih ya bahasa wait I like to communicate with people in real life, but I don't really like doing something at home or just writing it and then listening to a story through social media too long. But I have to go outside and talk to people, and if there is an assignment or maybe job like I have to make a data analysis or something like that, I'm not quite interested, so I'm a bit lazy on it.
All right. Okay, I see. Maybe um is it your first try to in LPDP or BIB?
Mm, yeah, for BIB, it is my first time, but for LPDB, I have experience before in LPDB.
How many times?
Only once.
Only one. And the last one you fail.
Actually, no, sir. But can I mention it? Maybe in the next, or in the real interview, can I mention it? Because like actually I got a scholarship from LPDP in 2019, but I felt not because of the LPDP itself, but actually from my institution where I work for, because it is actually the same year, because I work for a government here in Blitar Agency. So I haven't got a permissions at that time, so I failed. And then after
Okay.
that, yeah, and then after that, because now it's been 3 years I've been working here, and then before I continue, I mean, before I applying this beasiswa BIB, I like have conversations with the the government staff, and then they said yes and okay. Yeah,
Okay, I'm
this is
sorry.
my first
So
time.
oh, you didn't try because you didn't get the permission
Yep,
in the last.
actually, yeah, it's actually the same year as my working time at that time, like in 2019.
Yeah.
I already signed the paper in the government staff on January, and then the announcement of LPDP on February.
Oh, okay.
But yeah,
Okay, enough.
I try. Yep, yeah. Thank you.
Okay, then thank you.
Yeah, Kak.
Okay, the next interview moderation.
Okay, Nabila, please.
Okay.
Oh, my God.
Um. Okay. Thank you for before. Maybe I'm not only ask you about the moderation, but I just have a several question based on your answer before. So maybe we'll start. Wait. Aku baca dulu tadi beberapa notes. Okay. We knew that Harvard is a super famous university. We all do, and it's quite hard for you or for us to go there too. So how you prepare your goals to go to Harvard University? I mean, you haven't get your LOI yet. So what is your preparations for that? Except as preparations.
I prepare like from now on, I have like a community. I'm in like American community, so I can sometimes ask how to apply in this field, and then I have a senior in HDS as well, and then I sometimes like having conversations about how to live there, and then uh, how to how to get like a score in IELTS, how to get the higher score in IELTS, and then but now for now I'm still focusing on IELTS, and then for the from the preparations of the requirements, I still have time like in Harvard, because in Harvard the apply I mean, this the opening session is still on April, Miss.
Okay,
And
thank
then
you.
yeah,
Yep.
for
Okay,
now, I'm
that's
still
it.
focusing on IELTS, and then I try to make like a community, even if it's only an online community. I join it, but it's actually not every day, because I was busy to work right now, and then yeah, I have to manage it well after this.
Okay, thank you so much. Um, okay, it's all about the academic side. So can you please tell me how you prepared all of the things to go to Harvard, especially you live in America, something like that. It's totally different with Indonesia, the culture, people. We are
Yeah.
minority there. We are not majority it yet. And then we are have a different, total different languages. Those you live in English live country that speak English
Mhm.
every single day. So how you prepare and how you tackle maybe a challenge that will appear when you live in America.
Okay. The preparation it's actually since I was in a student in a university, I joined many international community there. I work as a tour guide as well in 2017, but because I moved here in Blitar, so uh, I think I lost my English accent as well. And but yeah, I still trying to try to remember again. And yeah, I speak English as much as possible here because I I cannot forget my English. Um, but for me, living in America, yeah, sure, it's not something easy because we have like different culture, we have different, especially food, and we are minorities there. But for me, I have experience in joining like in American community in Jakarta for about one year, and I think um I mean, like, I have a great relationship with them. And I think living in America is not that scary as the people said. But yeah, I have to prepare well, like, mentality, and then how if we are become minority. And then yeah, the only thing I have to prepare is my mentality. Yeah, and I think I already like trained myself since I was in a student university, miss.
Okay, thank you. Okay, from your profile picture, I saw yeah that you were wearing hijab. Okay, are you wearing it every day?
Yep.
Okay, so how if someday or there is a day that maybe yeah I know that maybe America already familiar with Muslim, but how if there are or there is one people or one person in your or classmate or at university or in public that asks you to take off your hijab, so what did you do? What do you do?
Um, for took off my hijab, I will say no because it is actually, it is necessity. It's not something that I have to choose wearing hijab or not. It's actually necessity, especially because I am a Muslim, so it is my identity, and it is obligatory that I have to wear the hijab. Here it's not about social or culture say that I have to wear hijab, but it's actually about faith. It's more about faith. So I think American already know about if we are have faith or we are strongly believe in one of religion, they will be respect us about
Okay,
like
okay,
our
thank you.
identity and
Okay,
physical
so
looks.
how if the professor or your lecturer asks you to take off your hijab, if you don't want to take off your hijab, you cannot go into the classroom. You will not pass the subject. So how? You'll
Okay.
fail. I mean,
Oh, gosh. Actually, I haven't think yet about some kind of situations like that. But actually, I have a story from my friend. She's actually from Syria, I guess, if I'm not mistaken, and she asked to took off her hijab, and then yeah, he sorry, and she has like trick. She wear like wig to cover her hijab, and yeah, she she then she then entering the class without any hesitance, and then yeah, it's all well until she's graduated from the university.
okay. So I think you need more effort to do that, right?
Yep, yep, yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um. Okay. Next question. I heard that you said that you have a community in Blitar.
Yes.
English what? English. Can you explain me about that? Further information about that?
Yeah. It's called BEV or Blitar English Village. So it's actually community that I initiate for young generations, especially for villager, because in my opinion, and it's like a big responsibility for me because I am as one of academic person here, and I mentioned before, like many villagers don't have the same chance to go to college. I think with English, we can collaborate and we can communicate with people around the world, so they can make like have a great opportunity, especially in this era. Everything's need English and then also technology, so we have to master in English, and both English and technology is the things that we have to master in. And I strongly believe that by this community, I can like educate people here to have like to have strong belief, and they have dreams, not only having a good career in Indonesia but also in international. So I always teach my children here, especially in the class that I sometimes manage here. I give them like new perspective that you have to go to other countries to have like new experiences, new relationship with other people with new perspective, and
Okay,
new
okay,
things. Yeah.
okay. Thank you. I'm going to ask you. Can you explain us? I mean, you already explained your future contributions on your essay, but can you please tell me more about your future contribution after you graduate or after you go back to Indonesia?
Mhm. Okay. Um. Yep. Thank you. I thank you so much for the question. So after I graduated from Harvard University, I mean, inshallah, and then I came back. Um I have like a visions when even I go to the outside overseas or something, or far away from my hometown, I will definitely come back to my hometown, and then to contribute, and then to build like and then to connected with Indonesia, especially my village with the world. And then the strong vision is about open-mindedness, so that in Indonesia or villages not only think that um like young generations in the age of 20s have to be married soon or something like that, but they can have like more opportunities, um, and then not too afraid to have a big dream. And then uh, I have like visions when I when I come back here. I I have a plan to make an international school. I made an international school in my hometown here, and I guess I can do it because I have experience before. Teach in one of element sorry I teach in one of international school in Yogyakarta before, and I am as a curriculum staff, and I think I can implement it here in Blitar. And especially if I have like knowledge and new experiences from America, I guess I can definitely transfer it in Indonesia. But yeah, especially we don't have to remove a local culture.
Okay, thank you. Um, so after you graduate, you want to be a teacher, you want to be a lecturer, or what?
um I want to manage my own school.
You want to manage your own school, Islamic
Yes.
school?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes,
so
it's my school.
why you choose and I mean yeah, so why you want to promoting religious moderation into curriculum, right? You wrote it on your essay.
Yes.
Religious
Uh,
moderation into curriculum.
yeah, because we live in Indonesia, and in my hometown there are many religions, and we have like different cultures. And actually, with this diversity, we can build like strong, like, oh, like um, we can build like society more tolerance. And but yeah, we are still facing about intolerance thing, maybe bullied at school. And be the biggest reason why I want to build my own school here with Islamic as the souls, and then also open-mindedness as the like the mindset that people have to use this, and also local culture. We don't have to forget about our local culture. So I will definitely mixing this kind of three components here. So here,
Okay, thank you. Okay, so you want to build a school, your own school.
Mm.
And then what is your role? You'll be a teacher too?
Maybe nope.
Okay,
But
so
actually, yeah,
maybe no.
Yeah.
So
yeah. But maybe I still want to teach, but not especially not like having my full time on teaching, because I want to
okay,
manage the school well.
okay. So you will embody this future. I mean, you will embody this contribution after you graduate directly.
Sorry, I didn't get the point. But sorry.
Okay, you want to build a school, right?
Yeah.
Your own school. So you will do directly after you go back to Indonesia, after you finish your school in Harvard.
Yeah, maybe firstly, I will like improving my community first. In BEV, Blitar English Village.
Okay.
Actually, I have two branches here in Blitar,
Mm.
and I manage like the situation is not like in a school, because actually, honestly, I'm not kind of diligent person, so I really hate like reading a lot and then listening to the teachers in the whole day in a classroom, or something like that. So I built like something unique in here in Blitar English Village. So the class is not really like the class, but it's from bamboo, and then the two other branches in the cafe. So I mean, like learning is something enjoyable. So what even if enjoyable, it's don't forget about the meaningful. So the source is enjoyable and meaningful learning.
Okay, so after you graduate, you want to focus on your community, English community.
Yes, English community first, and then I build the strongly like relations with other people here, especially with government staff, or
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. So I'm a little bit curious about your community. Is it the students should pay or yeah, I mean like it's free or
Uh-huh.
what? The community itself. It's free
Yep.
for the students. Okay, it's free. So how is it possible? You will graduate from Harvard. You go back to Indonesia. You want to improve your community, especially it's free. It didn't cost the student at all, and then you want to build a school. I mean, you need a lot of money. You need also money to buy your food, also for your living. So how is it possible after you graduate you haven't gotten money for build a school? You need a lot of money to build a school, right? So how is
Yep,
it
yep.
possible?
Yeah. Actually, I learned it a lot from my previous school when I was in Jakarta. It's an international school, so they usually to collect money. They usually like they do like fundraising to the, yeah, because of the relations with international relationship. So they can build like strongly relations with other countries, and yeah, the money or the fund is from fundraising. But yeah, actually this community, it's free in the first, but for now we do both. I mean, like there is a course, and then the other one is a charity for the villager. But yeah, if they want to be like more focused on that program that we already have the curriculum, so they have to pay about yeah, X But
Okay,
yeah,
thank you.
we still have the community that it's still free for villagers. They if they want to learn here with me and with the other tutors here are free.
Okay. I'm still a little bit unsure about your future contribution, but it's okay. We'll move into the next question. So, you want to build school, you want to improve your English community. Why you didn't choose Harvard Graduate School of Educations, and then why you choose MRPL instead of Harvard Graduate School of Educations? Because of you want to build school, you want to improve your community, English community. So why?
Because I already read in HDS and then especially in MRPL, and it's really actually more relatable with my current job, and then also my educational background, and then I think I can learning both religion as actually the firstly I mean the very the very first I mean the main sorry the main reason is about to spread the messages about peaceful Islam in the world. That first or the main reason why I put like blah 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 this or that. And after that, in education is like the strong key to build like generations to make a change. It start from education, and then public life. It is actually when I read the requirements and then read the description about religion and public, it's actually a public life. It's relatable with education, social, and diversity. So I think it's more like this is what I need to pursue to like enhance my skills, to enhance my like yeah,
Okay,
to enhance my
thank you.
skill
Okay,
into
that's
that.
enough.
Yep.
I also read from your AC that you wrote you want to aspire to collaborate with educational institution. Is it true? Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So, what institutions you want to collaborate with, and then how is it possible? Because we all knew that it's quite hard for us to have a collaboration with the government institutions because there are a lot of bureaucracy that we should do, and then there are also a lot of requirements that we should fulfill. So, how is it possible? And what institution you want to collaborate with?
Okay. Um, it's actually wait. Actually, I'm already in this practical. Wait. Actually, for now, I already engage with this institutions like religious ministry of liturgency, and then also with government stuff here in Pemda Blitar, because like because of the English, sometimes they want me to be speaker as one of speaker there to speak about English, and also it's the relatable to the religion, and then in religious ministry of liturgency as well. I initiate the movements. It's about we call it SSN. It's Sekolah Sangajine. It means that in a public school we have to we have to implement it like religious moderations, even we are not Muslim. So ngaji in here means it's not only for Muslim, but ngaji means also for the other religion as well. So every morning we have like a special movement before we go to the classroom to start our learning, to start our lesson. So it is sometimes we takes time about 15 until 20 minutes to read the Quran or Asmaul Husna or Salat Duha. But for the other religion, they also do the thing that the way they pray.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. Wait. Wait ya, aku lagi catat jawaban kamu.
Yeah. Tapi ini belum perfect banget sih Mbak, because it's it's actually still on progress, and it's still like a trial program, because it's actually because I work in Yogyakarta before, so I bring like some habit, yeah, from there to here, but it's not it's apa ya, it's not all the stuff I bring here, but yeah, for Asmaul Husna, because I live in Pondok Pesantren before when I was in Yogyakarta, so I bring it to the school. But yeah, actually, it is give a good impact here in Blitar, and then this year it be like one of
Okay, okay.
sudah dieksakan gitu Kak.
Okay, thank you. Okay. This is going to be my two last questions. The first question, maybe I will delegate it on bahasa. Di proposal
Yep.
yang Dewi kasih tadi, judulnya kalau nggak salah mau Kak jadiin Amerika jadi study case.
Iya.
Ya, sebagai study case, dan juga di situ ditulis you said that you want to investigate the experiences and perspective Muslim society among minorities di Amerika gitu. Okay. Basically, you will use scholarship to go and to study in America. So why you didn't, or you didn't, what? I'm sorry. Why you didn't choose Indonesia as your study case? Because after you graduate from Harvard, you'll go back to Indonesia. I mean, we as a LPDP and BIB, we hope that you will bring something to Indonesia. You will bring something that we can use together in Indonesia. Kalau misalkan kita mau coba lihat-lihat lagi, kalau misalkan dikatakan Indonesia udah jadi negara mayoritas Muslim gitu, tapi kalau misalkan dilihat lagi nih ya, Dewi, mungkin juga sebagai satu informasi, kalau padahal bisa lihat loh minoritas Muslim di Bali, di Buleleng, di Jemberang, terus di Tabanan and Bangli, if I'm not mistaken, mereka tuh juga jadi minoritas di Bali. Mereka juga jadi society yang walaupun tinggal di negara mayoritas Islam, tapi keadaan society mereka minoritas di Bali, yang dimana mayoritasnya adalah Hindu. Terus juga aku pernah dengar di sana tuh, khususnya di daerah Pagayangan Buleleng, mereka orang-orang Muslim di sana itu merayakan Maulid Nabi, tapi collaborate juga. Maksudnya collaborate apa ya? Mungkin collaborate agak kasar bahasanya. Kayak mengaplikasikan sharing ya, kayak bukan sharing juga. Kayak ada kolaborasi antara Islam dan juga Hindu di situ di acara Maulid Nabi. So I think it's quite interesting for you to make your future proposal thesis in Harvard University. I mean, you also can introduce Indonesian culture to the other world, to the Harvard University, to the international section in Harvard University. So I think it's quite interesting. Instead of you should use America as your study case. So I'm going to ask you why you didn't choose Indonesia as your study case. Why America?
Yeah, thank you for the question, Kak. It's actually awalnya memang pengen memang pengen Indonesia as a case study ya, untuk especially for awardee yang tinggal di sana. Cuman aku pikir lagi kayaknya lebih baik juga karena aku kan nanti di sana, karena ini aku kuliahnya based on research Kak, jadi kuliahnya cuma setahun, jadi memang di sana itu kita nanti nggak kuliah, cuman langsung apply for this research, jadi nanti langsung kerjanya langsung di sana gitu. Jadi aku pikir kayak terlalu sulit juga sih kalau nanti aku istilahnya subjeknya orang Indonesia, dan aku pikir kalau yang di sana nanti dipelajarinya bagaimana kaitannya dengan religious moderation. Nah, aku pikir gini, bagaimana sih aku pengen like how's the feeling being minorities there in America, and then after that if mungkin aku bisa nerapin bagaimana nantinya ketika kita menjadi minoritas di Indonesia. Mungkin kayak di daerah Bali tadi, ketika aku mendapatkan experience-nya dan juga mungkin feelingnya ya Kak, di sana menjadi minoritas, dan ketika aku nanti di sana berhasil untuk membuat research proposal aku ini, I investigate the experience, dan juga nanti aku terapin penerapan dan solusinya seperti ini. Kalau misalkan nanti di lingkunganku di sana aku berhasil, mungkin nanti juga ketika aku bawa pulang ke Indonesia, apalagi di sini kita sedang gencar untuk melaksanakan yang namanya religious moderation, especially in Blitar Regency. I collaborate where I collaborate with Blitar Religious Ministry of Blitar Regency. Jadi aku pikir nanti aku bisa memberikan sesuatu yang aku pikir bisa berkontribut banyak di sini karena aku bawa new perspektif yang aku dapetin meskipun aku minoritas tapi aku tetap bagaimana sih bisa survive and then tidak not too extreme and then not too glorify the free expressions of religion. So how to work balance in a balanced way in a fair way, and then apalagi aku nanti sebagai teacher juga dan juga nanti mungkin ke depan aku mau bikin sekolah sendiri yang mungkin soalnya adalah moderation, religious moderations. Jadi aku mau nantinya itu aku pulang ke Indonesia itu apa ya menjadi I can promote like empathy, bagaimana tolerance, empathy in a real situation, especially nanti diterapkan di sekolah yang religious moderation kayak gitu Kak.
Okay, thank you so much for the question. Okay, the last question, can you please give us your closing statement before we end this interview session?
Apa ya? Wait. Have a big dream and a very big dream because it can let our journey to achieve that, and it is really beautiful when we enjoy the process.
Okay, thank you so much for your interview session. Okay, I think we're done and I hope we'll get the best result.
Amin.
Okay,
Ya, mungkin ada feedback Kak. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you banget.
Keraso Kari Karo.
Oke, izin ya. Ini Masya Allah. Unhar ya, Unhar. Universitas Harvard. Luar biasa.
Udah, siap.
Unhar, bukan Unhas ya. Unhar. Oke. Di sini saya ada beberapa catatan sih Kak. Buat kakaknya. Saya juga agak sedikit bingung ya Kak. Di poin kakak ini di SDN kan Kak? Ya.
Iya betul.
Tapi ngajar PAI gitu.
Iya betul.
Oke. Jadi saya tanya terkait apa namanya, karena kan kakak juga udah mention beberapa kontribusi kakak terkait pendidikan ya di apa namanya buat konten kayak gitu, kemudian ada juga buat kurs juga kan ya kak ya. Cuma di sini saya tadi nanya terkait ada nggak sih seseorang yang sama visinya gitu di apa namanya, karena kan kita ini ya BIB itu program atau beasiswa yang memang ditujukan untuk memperbaiki atau berbenah si human research si apa Kementerian Agama gitu. Nah, saya kira tuh kakak tadi di apa namanya mungkin apa ya, apa sih kalau MI itu MI ya MI. Nah, saya kira tuh itu gitu. Jadi saya nanya ada nggak sih orang yang satu visi di lingkungan Kementerian Agama gitu. Nah, tapi tadi kakak mention di lingkungan ke tempat kakak kerja ya, betul kak?
Ya, jadi gini Kak, kalau aku kan ini guru PAI, itu kan SK ku di Dinas Pendidikan, cuman secara apa namanya, secara pedagogis kita itu ikutnya di Kemenak. Jadi aku punya 2 payung nih kayak gitu. Jadi aku tuh punya akun siaga juga punya akun dapodik kayak gitu. Makanya aku ini kemarin bisa daftar tuh melalui akun siaga kayak gitu.
Oh, oke. Oke, berarti tapi orang yang tadi dimention sama ya, maksudnya sama posisinya gitu.
Enggak, itu kayak
Beda.
ini kepala paisnya di bidang PAI-nya tapi di Kemenak. Jadi memang orang itu punya apa namanya? Punya penguasaan bahasa yang bagus dan dia pengaruhnya banyak gitu di sini gitu. Kayak gitu.
Oh,
Dan
oke.
lewat gitu lah Kak.
Oke, poin. Terus juga tadi saya tanya terkait apa namanya penelitian aktivitas kakak di bachelor degree ya. Kakak juga udah ngejelasin dengan cukup baik dan mention juga tentang kakak lulusnya di tahun berapa gitu. Karena kan sudah lama juga bekerja ya. Itu poin bagus gitu. Jadi sometimes kalau misalkan interviewer tuh kan kadang suka lupa gitu ya. Jadi akan lebih baik ketika misalkan kita menggamblangkannya gitu. Cuma apa ya, kalau dari segi jawaban gitu ya kayak dari beberapa mockup yang sudah saya lihat dan juga latihan kemarin, teman-teman interview tuh nyaranin jangan terlalu panjang, jangan juga terlalu melebar-lebar gitu loh. Coba untuk karena kan tadi kakak juga mention ya bahwasannya sebelum pengumuman kayaknya rada-rada gimana gitu kalau misalkan
Iya, belum siap banget,
mempersiapkan.
Ya,
Iya gitu.
to be honest, aku belum persiapan.
Iya oke. Ya terlihat sih soalnya kan menjelaskannya tuh kayak terlalu detail banget gitu kak. Coba untuk spesifik dalam artian tuh nggak ngelebar ke mana-mana gitu. Itu poinnya. Terus kalau dari segi penggunaan bahasa gitu itu kalau dari ini ya kak level S2 luar negeri sih sudah enough banget lah gitu. Dan punya kakak juga berani untuk istilahnya tuh show up tentang tantangan untuk mendapatkan IELTS 7,5 gitu ya. Ya itu poin penting poin bagus juga. Tadi juga menggunakan TOEFL ITP ya. TOEFL ITP kak. Ya kakak dengan pede, dengan percaya dirinya mention bahwasanya kakak bisa mendapatkan hal tersebut. Nah terus saya juga mention beberapa ini sih kak yang tadi di akhir ya. Ini kakak masih menggunakan aku. Itu temanku ada pernah ya di wawancara pertama dia itu keterima LPDP di percobaan yang ketiga dia keterima, tapi di sebelumnya dia masih menggunakan aku gitu. Kayak itu tuh kurang formal gitu ya. Kan kalau misalkan bahasa Inggris mah kan ya mesti enggak. Ya kalau misalkan ngegunain bahasa Indonesia gitu, coba untuk aware sama hal tersebut. Takutnya ini mah di luar kendali kita gitu, karena udah keasikan atau kayak gimana. Gitu sih.
Kak Roy.
Itu sih. Iya, halo.
Oh iya, kamu udah mau selesai ya?
Iya, udah mau selesai.
Oke.
Iya, itu juga jadi catatan terakhir sih, paling good luck terus buat kakaknya. Iya, paling itu. Kak Nabil mau duluan?
Kak Ari, aku boleh izin sampai duluan nggak? Karena aku mau bantu teman-teman yang lain habis ini.
Oke, lanjut.
Oke. Kak Dewi sebelumnya thank you so much for all of your answer. Aku sih kurang lebih dapat dari apa yang kakak jawab, kebayang gitu. Tapi sama aku juga ini sih, untuk dari segi kakak menjawab menggunakan bahasa Inggris, kiranya nanti emang disuruh full English, menurut aku kakak nggak terlalu punya kesulitan yang gimana-gimana di situ. Jadi kalau misalkan saranku aja sih ya, kalau misalkan nanti ketika ditanyanya pakai bahasa Indonesia, menurutku dengan penggunaan bahasa Inggris kakak yang udah bagus, kakak bisa juga kok untuk izin, Pak, apa boleh diperbolehkan kalau misalkan jika saya menjawab dalam bahasa Inggris gitu. Karena menurut aku kalau emang itu udah bukan jadi suatu challenge buat kakak untuk ngejawab pakai bahasa Inggris, ya kalau bisa gunain aja pakai bahasa Inggris terus, even if the interviewee will ask you in bahasa gitu. Terus sama tadi aku retweet banget sih katanya Kak Roy, kalau misalkan mungkin emang kakak belum coba strukturin nih apa nih jawaban yang mau dijawab, jadi emang jawabannya jelas tapi kemana-mana gitu. Ya, for instance, tadi aku udah tanya what institution that you want to collaborate with, tapi kakak sampai ngejelasin ke program, kakak sampai ngejelasin ke acara, maksudnya program ngaji dan sebagainya. I don't think that I want that answer begitu. Sebagai interview aku cuma tanya tadi, you aspire to collaborate with educational institution. What institution? Jawabannya aku mau adalah yang tadi, religious in affair di Malang ya kalau nggak salah.
In Blitar,
sorry. That's all. That's what I want dari jawaban kakak. Jadi you don't have to
only
answer
that short, Mbak. Only that short, is it okay?
Kenapa?
Only that short, is it okay? I mean,
maksudnya
like religious ministry.
Ya maksudnya jangan berhenti di situ sih, mungkin bisa dielaborasi dulu. Kayak saya contohnya mungkin aku kalau bisa kasih saran bisa jawabnya sampai di saat ini saya punya beberapa list sih Pak gitu. Jadi gak cuma religious affair di Blitar aja. Walaupun emang itu belum deal ya Kak. Tandanya maksudnya walaupun belum deal, kakak udah punya list ini kayak gitu. Yap, that's it. Karena emang yang mau dilihat sama pewawancara mungkin kamu udah nge-plan atau belum gitu. Karena kan ini semua kontribusi kita belum lakuin sama sekali. It's all about your plan. It's all about our plan gitu. Jadi menurut aku kalau kakak mau mention bisa lebih dari satu. Terus kalau misalkan tadi kan aku bilang justru kakak nggak menjawab pertanyaanku yang it's quite hard the bureaucracy to collaborate sama government. Nah, aku malah nggak dapetin jawaban itu, gitu. Pas ketika aku nanya tentang birokrasinya kan lumayan sulit kalau mau collaborate sama government, mau collaborate sama institusi kayak gitu. Nah, tadi justru kakak jawabnya lebih ke penjelasan apa nih yang mau dikolaborasiin, mau ada program apa dan sebagainya. Nah, mungkin itu juga agak riskan. Itu kan gak ditanya ya, Kak. Siapa tahu dengan kakak menjelaskan hal yang gak ditanya, justru jadi bercabang lagi tuh pertanyaannya. Gitu.
Oke.
Tadi kakak ngejelasin tentang program mengaji dan sebagainya. Nanti bisa aja ditanyain di situ lagi tentang program tersebut, malah jadi bercabang gitu, yang harusnya nggak ditanyain jadi ditanya karena kakak nyampein hal yang mungkin nggak ditanya.
Menimbulkan pertanyaan lanjutan gitu ya.
Gitu, betul gitu. Terus gini, tadi aku ada bilang bentar ya, saya lagi catat jawaban kamu gitu, and then you add your answer. Kakak ada tambahin ininya jawabannya gitu. Nah, saran juga aja sih, ini balik lagi ya, kakak mau apply atau enggak sarannya. Kalau misalkan nanti ketika interview pewawancaranya itu kan butuh mencatat jawaban kakak. Ketika emang udah lagi ada silent gap di situ, ya udah biarkan aja itu jadi suasana yang diam. You don't have to add the answer karena lagi ditulis tuh jawaban kakak gitu. Jadi kalau misalnya kakak nambahin jawaban lagi, kan dia bingung lagi mau nulis apa. Gitu. Takutnya juga malah kakak di stop untuk bicara gitu, dan dari sisi psikologis kalau kita lagi bicara terus di stop kan lumayan kayak gimana gitu ya, kayak mungkin jadi ngerasa kok aku di stop sih. Dan mungkin itu juga tadi yang aku sorry banget lakuin ke kakak, karena beberapa saat emang jawabannya udah ke arah mana-mana gitu. Jadi aku kayak oke, udah enough, aku udah dapet nih poinnya gitu. Terus abis itu untuk kontribusi tadi balik Indonesia, menurut kakak make sense nggak pertanyaanku untuk mempertanyakan kenapa kok balik Indonesia udah bisa bangun sekolah gitu, padahal kakak masih butuh uang untuk menghidupi diri sendiri, bayar listrik, bayar beli pulsa handphone, terus juga mungkin bayar yang lain gitu. Jadi quiet unrealistic kalau bilang to go back to Indonesia, I want to improve my community and then build school. Itu lumayan unrealistic, padahal yang dicari kontribusi itu bukan sebesar-besar saya mau jadi presiden, saya mau bikin ya mungkin sekolah ya realistis, tapi yang dilihat tuh ya realistis atau enggak. Kalau emang mau bikin sekolah, saranku kakak bisa jadi itu sebagai long term. Jadi kakak benar-benar punya waktu untuk prepare itu gitu. You have time to find pakai uang fundraising dan sebagainya kayak gitu. Dan menurut aku kalau misalkan abis ini kakak mau cari jawaban yang lebih meyakinkan selain fundraising sih boleh sih kak, karena fundraising nih dalam otak aku itu kayak iuran warga atau uang-uang kecil yang dikasih dari orang-orang untuk santunan, itu loh fundraising di ini aku. Jadi mungkin bisa lebih yang firm lagi, contoh kayak kakak kasih proposal pendanaan ke pemerintah atau bahkan ke Kemendikbud itu sendiri minta pendanaan, kan lebih apa ya jadinya, lebih meyakinkan gitu. Oke. Dana yang didapat pun juga emang bisa buat bangun sekolah gitu. Tapi kalau untuk fundraising mungkin emang iya uang akan kekumpul, tapi mungkin akan takes time ketimbang kakak kasih proposal ke Kemendikbud atau ke kementerian atau apa gitu yang bisa kasih uang untuk membangun sekolah, itu jadi lebih realistis kedengerannya gitu. Itu kak. Terus habis itu sama kakak bisa jawab juga tuh kalau misalkan tadi menjelaskan tentang komunitas bahasa Inggris di Blitar, kakak kan ngejelasin tadi komunitasnya apa, terus mungkin aku juga tadi mempertanyakan tuh itu gratis kah, karena aku belum ngedenger ketika kakak ngejelasin komunitas ini gratis atau berbayar kayak gitu, aku belum dengar, makanya tadi aku tanya lagi. Dan menurut aku apa emang fungsi dari komunitas tersebut di masyarakat, ada nggak outputnya gitu. Jadi jangan sampai terkesan kakak bikin komunitas tapi nggak ada manfaatnya buat masyarakat gitu. Jadi kakak bisa mention juga tuh apa sih emang dampaknya ke masyarakat, apakah anak-anak ini yang tadinya nggak bisa conversation dari bahasa Inggris jadi bisa, ataupun ada anak-anak yang mungkin bisa sampai ikut lomba debat bahasa Inggris kah, atau apapun itu, pokoknya jadi terlihat gitu impact-nya tuh ke masyarakat tuh apa gitu. Terus abis itu aku ini juga sampein kemarin sih, dan aku juga sama-sama lagi menerapkan dan belajar ini, kurangin gitu kak, something like that. gitu. Aku tahu sih itu misalkan kita lagi ngobrol sama teman emang pakai akan kayak gitu Kak, but this is the interview is not your best friend, he's not your friend, so maybe bisa dikurangin, decrease ngomong yang they're like gitu. Terus juga apalagi ya Kak, oh sama Kakak mungkin bisa mention aja dari awal kalau misalkan tujuannya itu ke Harvard gitu, apalagi Kakak memang belum ada LOE gitu, jadi pasti nanti sebelum dipertanyakan Kakak bisa sampaikan dulu aja, maksudnya gini, takutnya kalau misalkan nggak mention selain Harvard, jadi terkesannya Kakak tuh nggak punya plan B, padahal tadi Kakak tahu ya it's quite challenging to get into Harvard. IELTS 7,5. So I think you need time to prepare the IELTS test. Terus habis itu juga Harvard, mau masuk Harvard harus punya bikin essay lagi, bikin essay ini itu. Maksudnya biar kelihatan oh Kakak punya plan B. Tadi kan Kakak ada sebutin Columbia sama Michigan. Ya boleh mention itu. Tapi mentionnya lebih ke arah because of all the challenge that appears for me to get into Harvard, I already create another plan for my future university that correlated with my future contributions. Ada Michigan sama Columbia gitu. Sama tadi Kak Ari harus tanya dulu, ini majornya sama tiga-tiganya, baru Kakak menjelaskan. Kalau bisa ya udah jelasin aja. Ini antara tiga ini tuh punya correlated major yang agak mirip-mirip. Tapi balik lagi, kenapa pilih Harvard gitu. Maybe that's all Kak dari aku. Kalau misalnya ada feedback atau pertanyaan boleh.
Thank you banget Kak. Ini masukan yang menurut aku sangat worth it banget buat aku nanti. Soalnya ini mau aku bikin lebih terstruktur lagi dan aku banyak kadang nggak kepikiran Kak, ini tadi bener-bener sarannya dari Kak Nabila dan Kak Roy bener-bener ini sih bikin aku oke. Ini aku banyak berbenah. Terima kasih banget.
Oke, sip. Sama satu lagi Kak, ritme bicara dikit. Takutnya
gitu ya. Kecepatan ya.
Lumayan kecepatan. Itu mungkin untuk nanti para pewawancara senior yang mungkin maaf banget, yang mungkin dia catat nulisannya tuh agak lambat, itu lumayan quite challenging untuk mereka. Takutnya malah nggak dapet poin yang Kakak mau bicarain gitu. Oke, that's all for me. Good luck Kak. Thank you.
Kak, have a good day.
Alright, thank you Kak Nabila. Oh ya, oke.
Wait Kak, ini berarti Kak Dewi terakhir ya, atau ada lagi nggak sih?
Kayaknya terakhir aja ya Kak, karena udah setengah 11 kalau di WIB.
Iya, sama.
Iya, yaudah, silakan.
Silakan Kak Ari.
Oke, thank you Kak Nabila, Kak Roy ya.
Iya, betul.
Dan Mbak Dewi. Sebenarnya asik ya wawancara kita kali ini. Tajam gitu. Karena ya lebih enak yang tajam-tajam gini, jadi kita lebih siap gitu kan. Bener Mbak Dewi ya?
Ya bener banget. Emang jujur nih aku yang research proposalnya aku belum begitu menguasai sih Mas. Makanya tadi kayak beberapa pertanyaan tentang America and then like face challenges like in discrimination and stereotype as a terrorist dan aku tuh apa ya tadi aku lupa kayak tulisanku dulu apa gitu.
Oh iya,
Kakak,
oke.
Kakak emang pengen pakai Amerika sebagai study case.
Yes.
Oh, sebenarnya gini sih, Kak Ari aku nambahin dikit, sorry.
Oke, lanjut.
Tadi Kak Dewi aku dengar kayaknya Kakak ada mention kayaknya harus text time deh kalau harus pakai Indonesia sebagai study case, harus balik ke Indonesia, harus cari orang Indonesia gitu ya Kak?
Ya itu mungkin reason behind sih Kak, yang mungkin nanti nggak aku sampaikan juga sih kalau kayak gitu.
Better nggak disampaikan karena faktanya Kak Selin Wijayanti, if I'm not mistaken, dia di Harvard Medical, dia kembali ke Indonesia cuma buat ke Jember buat penelitian tesisnya. So it's not an excuse menurut aku. Takutnya itu juga di-mention Kak.
Nanti aku pikirin lagi yang gimana istilahnya untuk emang perlunya hanya di sana gitu kayak gitu.
Oke.
Makasih Kak.
Oke, lanjut ya. Thank you Kak Nabila tanggapannya. Yang pertama, overall bahasa Inggrisnya completely good ya. Maybe better than me. IELTS-nya 6,5 ya. Official itu Mbak.
Iya dulu Kak, waktu mau daftar ke yang LPDP dulu, karena aku dulu pernah dapet ABDP yang ternyata aku nggak diizinin dari institusi. Tapi insya Allah kalau kayak gitu nanti aku keceplosan disampaikan kayak gitu nggak apa-apa. Karena kan kadang ditanya kayak gini tadi ya, kamu pernah nggak daftar beasiswa lain kayak gitu? Nah itu kira-kira better dimension atau enggak?
Nggak apa-apa sih kalau menurut saya sih. Nggak tahu yang lainnya. Oke, untuk bahasa Inggris, jadi kalau yang di sini pakai apa, Mbak? Yang sekarang? ITP.
ITP ya Mas.
Berapa ITP-nya?
Ngepas aja sih Mas 560 kemarin.
500?
60.
Nggak ngepas tuh, Mbak. Kita kan 500 cuman. Oke, intinya udah bagus ya. Terus yang kedua, bahasa Inggrisnya udah oke, insya Allah aman sih. Yang kedua, resource-nya udah banyak. Resource-nya udah banyak. Apa yang mau disampaikan udah bagus. Kayaknya udah siap untuk wawancara. Namun tadi perlu di struktur, kata Mbak Nabila tadi ya sama Mas Roy. Itu perlu distruktur lagi supaya lebih rapi, tenang. Dan kalau saran saya sih mungkin dibuat ini ya, di list 1, 2, 3. Jadi kalau tadi langsung ter kayak ditembak pakai ini machine gun itu.
Bener.
Kalau ditembak pakai machine gun, kalau kayak kata Mbak Nabila tadi itu lumayan kalau untuk orang udah lanjut. Saya saja agak ini tadi, poin-poinnya agak beberapa yang lost tadi, yang miss.
Kak,
Terus
ada tips nggak Kak buat aku kalau ngomong? Emang ini aku basically dulu penyiar radio, jadi emang kalau ngomong harus cepet sih kayak gitu. Jadi aku kayak ini ya,
gitu.
padahal nggak
Ya,
bisa. I can control myself when I talk.
I see. Kayaknya kalau penyiar radio kayaknya lu udah lebih ahli ya. Mungkin lebih pelan aja mungkin, Mbak, di space-nya. Kalau
Speednya ya.
kita dengar, coba deh, kalau kita dengar Ustaz Abdul Somad atau Pak Anies Baswedan, dia kan tenang, tep, stop bentar, lanjut gitu. Jadi kita dapat maksudnya apa gitu. Kalau yang bagus tuh kayak Pak Anies Baswedan, bukan kampanye ini. Pak Anies bagus ininya, public speaking gitu. Nah, kemudian untuk sarannya, kalau saya pernah dengar nih dari Haris, kalau nggak salah dia UGM S1-nya UGM, terus LPDP di Imperial College London, dia bilang kita itu kalau jawab jangan lebih dari 1 menit. Apalagi kalau misalnya spesifik kayak ditanyain what is apa tadi, kalau ditanya apa mungkin dijawab jawab langsung terus penjelasan dikit gitu. Tapi kalau pertanyaan terbuka, alasan dan sebagainya mungkin boleh banyak. Tapi saran dari Haris sih, itu dia award PDP di Imperial, katanya kalau lebih baik jangan lebih dari 1 menit gitu. Yang kedua, untuk sarannya ini lebih diperkuat urgensi dari jurusan tadi, Mbak. Urgensinya apa, alasannya apa, kenapa ngambil jurusan itu, jadi lebih strong. Kalau saya kasih saran, saya pernah dikasih saran lebih bagus lagi kalau by data. Datanya gimana, seperti ini. Oh, memang ada nih minoritas nih, perlu diteliti ya datanya seperti apa gitu. Kemudian, nah, bagus tadi strength dan weakness-nya. Jadi strength-nya kayaknya udah di-mention tadi, udah pernah ditanyain, jadi udah siap kayaknya. Strength-nya betul, kalau saya catat adaptable, hardworking, dan apa tadi lupa, dan bagus itu udah di-mention apanya itu aplikasinya seperti apa, terus manfaat dari strength-nya tadi apa, terus weakness-nya lazy, tapi nggak tahu tadi mention nggak how you overcome-nya.
Ya maksudnya karena apa namanya?
Lazy sometimes you don't like ya?
Iya.
Oke, itu. Dan kan nggak tahu di mention apa overcome-nya. Kalau bisa di mention juga.
Belum.
Ya, itu aja sih di komplit gitu. Terus untuk pronunciation tadi udah di mention ya, pronunciation bahasa yang udah dipakai udah oke. Terus oh iya, saran saya mungkin untuk kalau mau mock up interview selanjutnya, saya kalau lebih baik ini on cam gitu Mbak. Kenapa on cam? Ya karena apa tadi?
Situation ya, Kak, ya?
Interviewer ya satu biar lihat sekitarnya, yang kedua kan interviewer itu pengen lihat ekspresi kita seperti apa. Nah, Kak, saya pernah di mock up juga kemarin ya, dan saya dikasih tahu saya ternyata kurang senyum dan pernah sering ngelihat ke atas, padahal harusnya kan lihat ke kamera. Itu jadi kalau mau itu lagi baiknya di on cam biar bisa dikoreksi. Terus berapa hal lagi? Nah, saya tanya tuition fee tadi nggak kejawab ya.
Ya Kak, belum nyari.
Oke, jadi saya udah coba di Australia ada beberapa jurusan saya search, ada di UK ada lengkap tuh. Kan nggak tahu saya di Amerika tuh lengkap atau nggak di tuition fee-nya. Ini sebenarnya bisa dibilang pertanyaan iseng menjebak sih. Ini menandakan bahwa berarti calon award ini benar-benar udah riset sedalam itu, seperti itu. Dan kalau udah sedalam itu, nanti mungkin pertanyaan nggak di tuition fee, mungkin berapa lama belajarnya, terus di semester ini belajar apa saja, di semester selanjutnya belajar apa saja, lain sebagainya. Terus untuk jurusan baik lagi dijelasin juga. Oh ya, biaya hidup per negara kan beda. Nah, itu juga ditanya ini. Terus untuk jurusan bagus lagi kalau udah dapat ini belum korespondensi?
Belum
Sudah
juga.
koresponden. Oh ya, mungkin setelah ini bisa nih di
Ya,
korespondensi. Ada nggak peneliti atau dosen yang di situ yang relate dengan ini research proposal Mbak?
Ada sih kemarin aku lihat, cuman belum aku email Kak.
Oh ya, lebih baik kalau di email nih, masih ada waktu nih.
Oke.
Kita kan selisih 12 jam ya, Amerika tuh lebih baik karena pengalaman saya email orang yang dosen di UK, dosen di Australia, uniknya mereka bales. Bales dan ngerespon. Jadi enggaknya kalau ditanya udah korespondensi, sudah gitu. Mungkin itu aja sih.
Ya,
Cukup.
makasih
Thank
Bang
you.
masukannya.
Oke. Ada tanggapan yang link? Cukup?
Oke, siap. Teman-teman, barangkali ada tanggapan buat Kak Dewinya atau ada yang ingin ditanyakan gitu. Kalau misalkan tidak,
saya boleh nambah sedikit.
Oh, nambah. Boleh Kak, silakan.
Gini Kak, soal singkatan-singkatan yang mungkin nggak semua orang satu frame gitu, kayak tadi ada MPRL, HDS gitu, karena itu mungkin agak dikurangi, gunakan saja yang lengkapnya gitu, jadi semua orang bisa nangkep maksudnya, itu maksudnya itu ya gitu.
Oh iya. Kalau secara pengucapan ya Kak?
Iya, maksudnya kan tadi lebih sering nyebut singkatannya ya dibandingkan ini apa sih HDS apa sih, saya nggak paham gitu kan.
Karena aku udah mention sebelumnya Kak. Mungkin aku tadi mikirnya kalau aku mention istilahnya singkatannya apa terus kan takutnya keulang-ulang ya. Karena di awal aku udah sempat mention kalau HDS dan juga MROPL itu Master Religion and Public Life dan lain sebagainya kayak gitu. Mungkin apa perlu di mention terus kepanjangannya gitu ya Kak, atau gimana ya?
Izin ya Kak. Kalau setahu untuk yang Kakak tadi sebutkan itu memang aturan itu bisa berlaku di tulisan ya. Ketika kita sudah mention singkatannya, kemudian ke bawahnya atau ke depannya boleh disingkat. Tapi kalau misalkan secara pengucapan itu gimana ya teman-teman? Saya juga kurang tahu sih. Mungkin ada yang lebih paham.
Kalau saya bayangin, saya nggak ada background tahu apa-apa soal Harvard. Kemudian saya juga tidak katakanlah dari Islamic Studies gitu ya. Saya nggak paham tuh MPRL apa ya, HDS apa ya gitu.
Oh, mungkin
Secara awam
kakak
aja sih.
menempatkan dirinya sebagai interviewer di bidang lain gitu mungkin ya. Bisa
Iya.
jadi seperti itu. Oh, oke oke. Oke. Gimana Kak Dewi, ada tanggapan?
Ya mungkin nanti aku pertimbangin gimana ngejelasinnya, karena tadi aku mikirnya kalau udah di depan udah aku mention sekali, aku pikir nggak perlu ini lagi dijelasin lagi. Cuman ya terima kasih masukannya, mungkin nanti aku coba atur gimana untuk biar nggak terlalu panjang, cuman memahamkan itu. Makasih Kak masukannya.
Oke, siap. Ada lagi teman-teman yang mau apa memasukkan memberi saran gitu, memberi saran atau ada pertanyaan. Dari tadi Masya Allah ya, dari 50 peserta tuh banyak banget ya malam ini. Luar biasa.
Banyak ya.
Iya,
Oke, nah saya mau nanggepin Kak Mas Ismail itu.
boleh Kang, silakan Kang.
Oke. Menurut saya benar sih. MPLS tadi mungkin eh, ya kita bayangkan jadi orang lain yang belum ini mungkin bisa master religion. Menurut saya sih Mbak, master religion atau di apa mungkin di my degree atau my master degree gitu biar lebih singkat, bisa juga seperti itu ya, karena saya pernah dengar juga eh awardee bilang bayangkan bahwa pewawancara itu adalah kakek nenek kita yang kalau dijelasin mungkin belum jelas, lebih jelas lagi, diulang-ulang lagi. Kalau mereka marah, jangan kita ikutan marah gitu, tapi dijelaskan secara pelan-pelan dan jangan sampai, yang penting poinnya dapat dan jangan make them confused itu. Oke, saya mau tanya juga Mbak Dewi mungkin terakhir. Udah jam
Boleh,
11
boleh.
hampir ya. Overall sih speakingnya udah bagus nih. Streaming. Boleh nggak di-share ke kita how you speak ini, apa ada karena background uh, announcer ya? Dibiasakan atau gimana?
Aku sebenarnya nggak ada background sama sekali Kak. Cuman aku memang ini dulu I challenge myself untuk ini ngomong sama native kayak gitu. Terus aku emang join American Community pas waktu kuliah itu. Cuman emang aku sebenarnya ini udah challenging banget aku sekarang ngomong Inggris lagi, karena udah lama banget aku nggak komunikasi langsung dengan bahasa Inggris. Aku agak kayak kaku gitu sih tadi menurutku. Kan dulu kalau
Oh, I
misalkan
see.
langsung sama native tuh beda Kak rasanya kalau misalkan sama orang Indonesia, karena aku pikir kayak aksennya juga nanti ke bawah. Dulu waktu aku masih kerja di Target itu pernah aku setahun dulu kerja jadi Target 2017 juga. Aku kerja di situ tuh
Tour guide di?
aku kalau iya
Tour guide di
di
mana?
Jogja, di
Oh, di
Jogja.
Jogja. Oke.
Aku itu jadi gini, kalau ada tamu tuh dari London kan otomatis aksennya beda ya. Aku tuh bisa langsung kayak ngikutin dia gitu loh aksennya. Jadi orang-orang tuh kayak bilangnya aku tuh kayak beo. Jadi kalau aku gaulnya sama orang Aussie, aku bisa ngikutin aksennya dia. Kalau sama orang India pun aku bisa ngikutin aksen Inggrisnya, kayak I want to talk to you about something.
Oh,
Aku
I
bisa.
see. Mantap.
Jadi kayak emang aku
Oke
mungkin
lah.
emang ada apa istilahnya I'm
Oh,
passionate.
di UK beda ya?
Beda-beda. UK tuh aku pernah dengar tuh aku nggak dengar sama sekali pada awalnya sih. Kayak dia bilang um, I need a bottle of water. What? Kayak gitu, bingung kan. Tapi itu
Oh, I
memang beneran
see.
ada orang yang ngomongnya kayak gitu, a bottle of water. Jadi kayak double T itu di tengah nggak dibaca beneran.
Oh, about oh, I see.
A bottle of water
Oke lah,
is not
wajar
only
sih.
joke. Tapi itu beneran kayak
Wajar sih
gitu.
untuk someone yang persiapan belum maksimal kata Mbak tadi ya, tapi untuk Englishnya udah oke banget sih.
Iya,
Oke, mantap. Good luck nih Mbak.
ya, ya,
Ya, good luck Mbak
teman-teman
Dewi
juga.
dan kita
Kasih.
semua. Siap, siap. Oke, mungkin tidak ada lagi ini ya yang ingin ditanggapi. Terima kasih banyak ya teman-teman sudah menyempatkan hadir di kesempatan kita kali ini. Mungkin nanti teman-teman ada yang belum berkesempatan, mungkin bisa ya mengajukan diri khususnya di grup luar negeri gitu. Kalau misalkan memang di grup yang dalam negerinya ini apa namanya bisa juga chat gitu. Jadi kita saling bantu aja di sini ya teman-teman kayak gitu. Oke,
Semoga nanti bisa ketemu in real life ya Kak. semuanya.
Amin. Amin,
Dulu
amin.
di VIP.
Di PK selanjutnya ya. Amin.
Sampai yang nyebutnya VIP ya. Oke, oke.
Iya.
Kak,
Oke.
mau izin tanya Kak. Kan tadi yang ngomong tentang korespondensi kan ya?
Ya, gimana?
Yang untuk S2 ke luar negeri. Kalau saya tuh kan ngambilnya yang coursework. Itu korespondensinya saya ngomong tentang apa ya? Maksudnya menghubungi dosennya gimana?
Rencananya ke where do you wanna take, Mbak?
Ke ini Melbourne.
Melbourne,
University of
oh sih.
Melbourne. Iya, yang
Oh, Master of Teaching. Sorry, coursework berarti riset ya? Basisnya.
enggak riset. Bukan riset.
Oh, bukan ya.
Iya.
Sebenarnya korespondensi itu, saya bantu jelasin nih.
Iya.
Jadi korespondensi itu ya istilahnya kita udah menghubungi dia aja, Mbak. dosen itu, peneliti itu membuktikan bahwa kita itu udah menghubungi mereka dan ada ketertarikan ke mereka. Maksudnya seperti ini, misal Mbak jurusan A, dan penelitiannya tentang B. Nah, bilang aja I have interest with your research, and bisa tanya-tanya aja lah Mbak. Kira-kira seperti apa penelitiannya, metodenya apa. Nah, kalau udah dapat balasan itu, nah itu menandakan kalau kita udah korespondensi. Kalau mereka kalau tanya apa? Misal bisa nggak dikirimin jurnal? Bahkan saya di mana ya? Di Australia, saya minta kirimin jurnal, padahal di ResearchGate itu berbayar dan itu nggak bisa dibuka. Pakai GenLib apa ya untuk buka itu, saya minta ke dia dikirimin ya. Bisa juga minta kirimin itu Mbak, jurnalnya gitu. Itu sih.
Kan kalau coursework itu kan nggak ada risetnya ya kan?
Izin. Boleh kayak lanjut. Udah.
Gimana?
Lanjut dulu Kak.
Kalau coursework itu kan nggak ada risetnya, jadi saya ngomong tentang penelitian. Maksudnya saya di aplikasinya juga tidak menulis tentang penelitian.
Oh, I see. Jadi saya menanggapi. Jadi memang ada beberapa case yang ada 3 jenis ya yang saya ketahui itu khususnya di studi master, ada yang by research, kemudian ada yang mix, sama ada yang coursework atau yang cuma kuliah aja gitu.
Oke.
Nah, maksud tetehnya mungkin ya ini yang hanya kuliah aja gitu ya Kak ya?
Iya benar.
Oke.
Nah, itu gimana tuh?
Korespondensinya
kalau saya sih campur sih waktu itu, di websitenya tuh ada penelitian juga gitu. Jadi memang belum tahu sih kalau misalkan yang coursework itu memang harus menghubungi atau gimana itu.
Oh iya sih, sorry ya. Sama pengalaman saya yang mix sih, udah beberapa kampus nyoba emang yang mix. Tapi kalau saya di Queensland ada 2 jenis, mau kuliah aja atau kuliah campur riset gitu. Nah, kalau coursework itu full ya Mbak? Atau bisa milih?
Itu maksudnya?
Kalau kayak saya kan misal 1 tahun nih, 1 tahun kuliah, terus 6 bulan selanjutnya itu bisa lanjut kuliah lagi atau 6 bulan itu riset. Nah, yang di jurusan Mbak itu full course
kuliah.
gitu?
Iya, full kuliah.
Oh gitu, ini lebih ini sih, ditanyain aja. Lebih spesifik, mungkin belum paham di bagian ini. Bisa nggak dijelasin lebih detail? Karena saya tertarik di mata kuliah ini. Mata kuliah ada pasti kan? Bilang aja tertarik di mata mata kuliah ini bla bla bla, di speak aja Mbak, biar bukti kalau kita pernah korespondensi, karena itu adalah one of the big reason bahwa berarti ini emang udah riset sedalam itu, ada usaha untuk riset sedalam itu. Tanya aja Mbak, ketertarikan di Oke
Kak, terima kasih Kak.
Ya, ada lagi teman-teman semua? sepertinya tidak ada ya. Oke, kalau tidak ada dicukupkan ya. Terima kasih banyak. Mudah-mudahan di hari tanggal 9 ya kita bisa lulus semuanya lah, kalau bisa lulus semua gitu.
Amin, amin.
Amin. Good luck buat teman-teman semua persiapannya. Terima kasih. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.